In the fast-paced world we live in, relationships are often complex and unpredictable. For men striving to be the best version of themselves, understanding how to navigate these interactions without losing control is crucial. Losing control is not just about anger or frustration. It's about compromising your values, letting external circumstances dictate your mood, and ultimately allowing others, especially women, to define your worth. Here's the hard truth. If you don't master yourself, someone else will. Enter Stoicism, a timeless philosophy that has guided some of history's greatest minds. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus teaches us how to regain control of our lives, especially in the realm of relationships. When applied correctly, Stoic principles help you stay grounded, calm, and confident no matter what challenges come your way. They give you the power to avoid manipulation, maintain your integrity, and live life on your terms. The goal of this video is to share 19 Stoic rules that will help you never lose control when dealing with women. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical, actionable steps that you can implement starting today. These rules aren't about dominating others or suppressing emotions, they're about mastering yourself. And once you learn to master yourself, everything else falls into place. Women naturally respect men who live with purpose, control their emotions, and maintain their boundaries. You might be wondering why this is so important. Why focus on control in relationships? Because losing control means giving up your power. It means letting insecurities dictate your decisions and emotions. It means becoming reactive instead of proactive. Every time you allow someone else's behavior to control how you feel or act, you give them power over you. This loss of control can lead to unhealthy relationships, emotional instability, and a diminished sense of self-worth. The good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. The Stoic rules you're about to learn will equip you with the mindset and tools necessary to maintain your strength and composure in any situation. You'll discover how to manage your emotions, set boundaries, and handle challenges with grace and confidence. Most importantly, you'll learn how to stay true to yourself no matter what. Before we dive into these 19 rules, here's a quick reminder. The key to success in mastering these principles is consistency. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. You might slip up occasionally, that's part of being human, but with every setback comes an opportunity for growth. And remember, if you want to take your growth even further, check out our exclusive training. The link is in the description or pinned comment below, but don't click just yet. Stay with me until the end, because the last rule is the most powerful and life-changing of all. Let's begin. In a world full of emotional ups and downs, staying in control isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for men who want to thrive, especially when dealing with relationships. Losing control isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle and gradual. You find yourself reacting too quickly, seeking validation, or getting lost in the whirlwind of emotions. The beauty of Stoicism is that it provides clear, practical tools to help you remain grounded. In this first part, we'll break down 4 key Stoic principles that will help you avoid losing control and, in doing so, earn deeper respect, not only from others, but also from yourself. Rule 1. Master the art of emotional restraint. Let's be honest, when emotions run high, it's easy to lose control. A misunderstanding turns into an argument, a simple delay feels like rejection, and before you know it, you're spiraling into overreaction. Stoicism teaches that while emotions are natural, letting them dictate your actions is a recipe for disaster. Emotional restraint doesn't mean suppressing what you feel. It means learning how to process emotions without letting them dominate your behavior. Think about Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who faced betrayal, war, and personal loss, but remained composed. How did he do it? He practiced what modern psychology calls emotional regulation. He would pause, breathe, and ask himself, "Is this worth my peace of mind?" This simple question can save you from countless impulsive decisions. Let's apply this in a real-world scenario. Imagine you're texting someone you're interested in. She suddenly stops replying for hours. Your first instinct might be to bombard her with messages, asking if everything is okay. Resist that urge. Take a breath and remember, her response, or lack of it, is outside your control. Your reaction, however, is entirely in your hands. Respond calmly, or, better yet, wait. Your calmness will communicate confidence and self-respect. Rule 2. Prioritize. Self-validation. Over external approval, one of the quickest ways to lose control in relationships is to base your self-worth on how others see you. This is especially dangerous when it comes to romantic interests. You might find yourself constantly seeking reassurance. Does she like me? Am I good enough? And adjusting your behavior to fit what you think she wants. This creates a dependency that slowly erodes your confidence. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, believed that true freedom comes from within. He taught that no external opinion should hold power over your sense of self. When you rely on external validation, you give others the ability to control your emotional state. When they praise you, you feel high. When they criticize or ignore you, you crash. Instead, practice self-validation, set personal goals, and measure your success by your own standards. Did you work on your passion today? Did you stick to your values? These are the things that should determine your worth. When you no longer need someone's approval to feel valuable, you naturally become more attractive because you exude independence and self-assurance. Rule 3. Set and enforce clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential in any relationship. Without them, you risk becoming a doormat, constantly compromising your values and desires to keep the peace or gain someone's affection. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about protecting yourself. A man without boundaries is like a house without walls. Anyone can walk in and rearrange the furniture. Setting boundaries starts with knowing your non-negotiables. Ask yourself, what behaviors are unacceptable to me? It could be a lack of respect, manipulation, or inconsistency. Once you've identified your limits, communicate them clearly and calmly. If someone crosses a boundary, address it immediately. You don't have to be harsh, but you must be firm. For example, if someone constantly cancels plans last minute, let them know how that affects you and what you expect moving forward. Remember, enforcing boundaries isn't about punishing others. It's about showing them how you expect to be treated. Women respect men who respect themselves enough to set boundaries. Rule 4. Embrace detachment. Without indifference, detachment is often misunderstood as coldness or indifference, but in Stoicism, detachment is about maintaining your emotional balance. It means caring deeply without clinging to outcomes or people. When you cling, you give away your power and become reactive. Detachment allows you to stay composed and confident, no matter what happens. For example, if a relationship ends, a man who practices detachment won't fall apart. He'll feel the pain, process it, and move forward with grace. He understands that life is full of beginnings and endings, and clinging to the past only creates suffering. Detachment also helps you enjoy the present moment without anxiety about the future. When you're with someone, be fully present. But remember that your happiness doesn't depend on them. This mindset creates a healthy dynamic where both parties feel free rather than trapped. These 4 rules are the foundation of maintaining control in relationships and life. They equip you with the tools to handle challenges with composure, confidence, and integrity. In the next block, we'll explore the next set of Stoic rules, each one designed to elevate your self-mastery and strengthen your inner resilience. Stay with me, because the next principles could be the game changers you've been waiting for. In the pursuit of mastering emotional control with women, it's essential to delve deeper into Stoic principles that serve as a solid foundation. These 4 rules will provide you with a new perspective on how to approach challenging situations and interactions while preserving your self-respect and emotional strength. Let's explore these Stoic principles that will shield you from manipulation and unnecessary emotional turbulence. Rule 5. Never be ruled by emotional reactions. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is mastering your reactions. While emotions are natural, letting them dictate your behavior leads to regretful decisions. Imagine you're in a situation where a woman says something hurtful or dismissive. The immediate impulse might be to respond out of anger, to prove a point, or to regain control of the situation. However, reacting impulsively is precisely what can lead to a loss of power. The Stoics believed in pausing and reflecting before responding. Epictetus taught that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. In modern terms, this means taking a step back, processing what's happening, and choosing your response carefully. By controlling your reactions, you maintain control over the situation and, more importantly, over yourself. The next time you find yourself in an emotionally charged interaction, remember this: silence and calm are often more powerful than any emotional outburst. Not only does it show strength, but it also leaves others guessing, which can shift the dynamics in your favor. Rule 6. Set boundaries and enforce them. A high-value man knows his limits and isn't afraid to set boundaries. This is not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about knowing what you will and won't tolerate. Too often, men compromise their standards out of fear of losing a woman's interest. This is a dangerous path that leads to resentment and loss of self-respect. Imagine you're dating someone who consistently cancels plans at the last minute. While it's understandable that life can be unpredictable, repeated behavior like this is a sign of disrespect. A man grounded in Stoic philosophy would address the situation calmly but firmly, making it clear that he values his time and won't tolerate being treated as an afterthought. Setting boundaries isn't about creating conflict, it's about establishing mutual respect. When you enforce your boundaries, you send a powerful message. You respect yourself enough not to accept anything less than what you deserve. Rule 7. Avoid the trap of validation. Seeking validation is a subtle but pervasive trap that many men fall into without even realizing it. It manifests in behaviors like constantly seeking approval, fishing for compliments, or changing your opinions to align with someone else's. While it might seem harmless, this behavior erodes your authenticity and diminishes your value. Stoicism teaches us to find validation from within. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that external praise is fleeting and meaningless compared to inner virtue. Apply this principle to your interactions. Instead of trying to impress someone, focus on being your authentic self. When you stop seeking validation, you become more attractive because you exude genuine confidence and self-assurance. Rule 8. Never neglect your purpose. The most powerful Stoic rule of all is to prioritize your purpose above everything else. Your purpose is your anchor. It's what gives your life meaning and direction. When a man becomes overly focused on a woman to the point of neglecting his goals and passions, he loses the very essence of what makes him attractive in the first place. Think of historical Stoics like Marcus Aurelius. Despite his personal relationships, his primary focus was always on his duty and purpose. In modern life, this means pursuing your career, personal growth, and passions relentlessly. When you prioritize your purpose, you naturally become more magnetic because you're living a life of fulfillment and meaning. In every interaction, ask yourself, am I staying true to my purpose, or am I compromising it for temporary attention? If the answer is the latter, it's time to realign your focus. Remember, the right people will be drawn to your mission, not your compromises. As we continue exploring the Stoic rules that help maintain your control and strengthen relationships, remember that true power lies in self-mastery. The following 4 principles will elevate your emotional resilience and guide you through even the most challenging interactions with women. These are essential for any man striving to maintain his identity and dignity. Rule 9. Don't prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term goals. One of the most dangerous traps a man can fall into is sacrificing his long-term vision for short-term gratification. Whether it's neglecting your career, skipping the gym, or abandoning personal growth for fleeting attention, these compromises can weaken your foundation. The Stoics believed that real happiness comes from living in alignment with your principles, not chasing temporary highs. Consider this. You're pursuing a major goal, perhaps launching a business or working toward a promotion. Suddenly, an exciting but ultimately distracting opportunity arises. It could be a whirlwind romance or an invite to endless parties that pull you away from your focus. While it's easy to rationalize, thinking, "I'll get back on track later," the truth is, later often turns into never. The Stoic mindset urges you to stay the course. Seneca famously said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Stay disciplined, keep your focus, and let nothing derail your path. In the end, the satisfaction of achieving your goals will far outweigh any fleeting pleasure. Rule 10. Don't overinvest emotionally. Too soon relationships, like anything valuable in life, take time to build. One of the most common mistakes men make is becoming emotionally attached too quickly. This creates an imbalance in the relationship and often leads to disappointment. Stoicism encourages us to approach new relationships with patience and perspective, recognizing that emotions, especially in the early stages, can be misleading. Think of relationships as a gradual process, like planting a seed and watching it grow. You wouldn't expect a plant to flourish overnight, so why would you rush emotional investment? Give things time to develop naturally. Pay attention to how the other person reciprocates and adjust your level of investment accordingly. By maintaining a steady, composed approach, you remain in control of your emotions and protect yourself from unnecessary heartbreak. The Stoics remind us that true strength lies in being patient and deliberate rather than impulsive. Rule 11. Control your expectations. Unrealistic expectations are often the root of disappointment. In relationships, expecting someone to act or respond in a certain way sets you up for frustration. When reality doesn't match your expectations, you may feel hurt or betrayed. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes invaluable. Epictetus taught that we must focus on what's within our control, our actions, thoughts, and responses, while accepting that external events are beyond our influence. In practical terms, this means embracing the uncertainty of relationships. Instead of placing rigid expectations on how someone should behave, adopt a more flexible mindset. When you release expectations, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Every experience becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a source of disappointment. Approach each interaction with curiosity, not control, and you'll find it easier to maintain your inner peace. Rule 12. Be wary of emotional manipulation. Manipulation can be subtle, often cloaked in charm or emotional appeals. Recognizing manipulation early is crucial to maintaining your emotional balance. A Stoic man understands that his emotions can be a tool for others if he's not vigilant. Imagine a situation where someone tries to guilt you into doing something you're uncomfortable with. It could be a request that violates your boundaries or a subtle attempt to shift blame onto you. The key to overcoming manipulation is to stay rooted in your values and remain calm. Don't react impulsively. Instead, assess the situation logically and decide what's in your best interest. When you recognize manipulation, calmly but firmly assert your boundaries. You don't need to explain yourself endlessly or seek approval. Simply state your position and stick to it. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from not being enslaved by others' opinions or tactics. In this section, we'll dive into 4 more crucial rules that will ensure you maintain your composure, self-respect, and emotional strength when dealing with women. These Stoic principles will help you fortify your mind and actions, guiding you to make decisions that reflect a high-value man with unwavering confidence. Rule 13, never sacrifice your purpose for a relationship. One of the most powerful things a man can have is a clear sense of purpose. This purpose serves as a compass, guiding you through life's challenges and helping you make decisions that align with your values. However, many men fall into the trap of sacrificing their purpose for the sake of a relationship. Imagine you've been working tirelessly to achieve a personal or professional goal. Suddenly, you meet someone who consumes all your time and energy. It's tempting to shift your focus entirely toward that person, thinking it's what the relationship requires. But here's the hard truth. Abandoning your purpose for someone else will ultimately lead to resentment and regret. The Stoics remind us to remain anchored in our core mission. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." Prioritize your goals and ambitions, and the right people will support and respect your journey. Remember, a man driven by his purpose is infinitely more attractive and fulfilled. Rule 14, don't let external validation define your worth. It's natural to seek approval from others, especially in relationships. But relying on external validation to feel confident or worthy is a dangerous game. When your sense of self-worth is tied to someone else's opinion, you become vulnerable to emotional highs and lows that are beyond your control. The Stoic approach is simple. Define your own worth based on your actions, values, and character, not on how others perceive you. Epictetus famously said, "Who then is invincible? The one who cannot be upset by anything outside their reasoned choice." This means staying grounded in your own truth, regardless of external opinions. Ask yourself, are you making choices to please others, or are you staying true to yourself? When you free yourself from the need for constant validation, you become unshakable. You no longer depend on approval, and that confidence radiates naturally. Rule 15, never tolerate disrespect. Respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. When you tolerate disrespect, even in small doses, you erode that foundation and signal that you don't value yourself enough to set boundaries. Disrespect can come in many forms: dismissive comments, inconsistency, or subtle manipulation. The key is recognizing it early and addressing it calmly but firmly. Being stoic doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you respond with control and clarity. When someone crosses your boundaries, don't react with anger or defensiveness. Instead, state your boundaries clearly and stand by them. The Stoics believed that self-respect is non-negotiable. Seneca advised, associate with those who make you a better person. If someone consistently disrespects you, they're not contributing to your growth. Don't be afraid to walk away from situations or people that compromise your dignity. Rule 16. Stay emotionally balanced at all times. One of the most defining characteristics of a Stoic man is emotional balance. This doesn't mean you're devoid of feelings. It means you don't let emotions control your decisions. Staying calm and collected in challenging situations is a sign of strength and maturity. Imagine being in an argument where tempers flare. The natural reaction might be to raise your voice, retaliate, or say something you'll regret. But a Stoic man knows the power of silence and patience. He steps back, assesses the situation, and responds with reason rather than emotion. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about controlling impulses and choosing the higher path. He believed that true power lies in the ability to remain composed, even when provoked. When you master this skill, you'll notice that people respect you more and conflicts are resolved more effectively. As we enter the final block of this development, we'll explore 4 more essential Stoic rules that will solidify your self-control and amplify your confidence when dealing with women. These rules will help you maintain authority over your emotions, stay true to your values, and protect your inner peace at all times. Rule 17. Don't be controlled by attachment. Attachment can be a silent trap. While it's natural to feel connected to someone, becoming overly attached can lead to dependence, obsession, and emotional turmoil. When you hinge your happiness on one person, you give away your power and open yourself to unnecessary suffering. The Stoics emphasize the importance of non-attachment, not to deny love or connection, but to avoid placing your entire identity in another person. Epictetus taught, "You may fetter your leg, but not even Zeus has the power to break your mind's freedom." This means that no external circumstance should have control over your inner peace. Recognize when attachment turns into dependency. Remind yourself that you were whole before you met anyone, and you'll remain whole regardless of what happens. This mindset not only protects you, but also strengthens your relationships, as you'll avoid becoming clingy or possessive. Rule 18. Never chase, attract. One of the most important lessons in relationships is understanding the difference between chasing and attracting. Chasing involves pursuing someone relentlessly, often at the expense of your dignity and self-respect. Attraction, on the other hand, is a natural outcome of being the best version of yourself. A Stoic man knows his worth and doesn't need to prove it to anyone. Instead of chasing, he focuses on building his life, his goals, passions, and personal growth. As a result, the right people gravitate toward him naturally. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This applies perfectly to relationships. Don't waste time trying to convince someone of your value. Live with purpose and authenticity, and those who align with your energy will appear. Rule 19, avoid emotional reactivity. Emotional reactivity is one of the quickest ways to lose control in any situation. Whether it's a heated argument, a moment of jealousy, or a perceived slight, reacting impulsively often leads to regret. The Stoics teach us that true power lies in mastering our responses. When faced with a challenging situation, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter in a day, a week, or a year? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Respond calmly and thoughtfully, and you'll gain the respect of those around you. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about choosing when and how to express them. Seneca believed that mastering one's emotions was the key to freedom. When you practice this rule, you'll find that you're no longer at the mercy of fleeting emotions, but instead the master of your own destiny. Rule 20. Embrace solitude and self-reflection. In the fast-paced, noisy world we live in, solitude is a superpower. Taking time to be alone allows you to reconnect with yourself, reflect on your actions, and realign with your core values. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's a space for growth and clarity. The Stoics often practiced daily self-reflection, reviewing their thoughts and actions to ensure they stayed on the right path. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Make it a habit to spend time in solitude. Journal your thoughts, meditate, or simply sit in silence. This practice will help you stay grounded, make better decisions, and avoid external distractions. The more connected you are to your inner self, the more resilient you'll become in relationships and life in general. Conclusion, 1,500 words. As we wrap up this transformative journey, it's time to reflect on everything we've explored so far. These 19 Stoic rules aren't just abstract ideas, they are practical tools to help you regain control over your emotions, maintain your self-respect, and navigate relationships with unwavering confidence. The lessons we've discussed are designed to help you cultivate strength, resilience, and wisdom in every aspect of your life. But knowing these rules is only the beginning. The true transformation begins when you put them into action. In the modern world, where distractions and emotional traps are everywhere, staying grounded is more important than ever. The Stoic philosophy offers us a roadmap to remain unshaken no matter the challenges we face. And when it comes to relationships with women, these principles become even more powerful. Think back to the first rule we discussed, the importance of setting boundaries and never sacrificing your values for anyone. That wasn't just a suggestion, it was a call to action. Every time you compromise your principles, you lose a piece of your self-respect. But when you stand firm, you not only earn the respect of others, but also build unshakable confidence. Similarly, we talked about the danger of emotional reactivity. How often do we let our emotions take control, only to regret our actions later? The Stoics understood that true strength lies in mastering our responses. The next time you find yourself in a situation that triggers a strong emotional reaction, pause and breathe. Remember that you have the power to choose your response, and let's not forget the importance of avoiding attachment. This is one of the most misunderstood concepts in relationships. Being non-attached doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means loving from a place of strength rather than dependency. When you adopt this mindset, you'll find that your relationships become healthier, more balanced, and far more fulfilling. Now, here's the real question. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Will it be just another video you watched, or will it be the catalyst for real change in your life? The choice is yours. If you're ready to take control, to live life on your terms, and to become the high-value man you were meant to be, start applying these principles today. Take it one step at a time. No need to rush or overwhelm yourself. Pick one rule, focus on it, and integrate it into your daily life. Then move on to the next. Before you know it, you'll have transformed not only the way you handle relationships, but also how you approach life itself. And here's a reminder, this transformation isn't about impressing others or proving your worth. It's about living in alignment with your true self. When you prioritize self-respect, growth, and inner peace, everything else falls into place. You'll attract the right people, face challenges with grace, and most importantly, build a life that you're proud of. Before we end, let me leave you with a final thought. Life is unpredictable. Situations will arise that test your patience, your boundaries, and your emotional strength. But with these Stoic principles as your foundation, you'll be prepared for anything. You won't just survive, you'll thrive. And if you're truly committed to this journey of growth and self-mastery, I've created something special for you. My exclusive training goes deeper into these concepts and gives you practical steps to implement them in your life. It's designed for men who are serious about becoming the best version of themselves. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. I highly recommend checking it out. Just make sure to watch the video until the end first. If this video resonated with you, here's how you can support this channel and help more men discover these life-changing ideas. Hit that like button. It may seem small, but it makes a huge difference in reaching more people. Subscribe to the channel for more content on Stoicism, self-mastery, and personal growth. Leave a comment below, Share which rule stood out the most to you, or how you plan to apply it in your life. Your insights could inspire someone else on their journey. And finally, share this video with a friend who needs to hear these lessons. You never know how a single piece of advice can change someone's life. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, you have everything you need to take control of your life and become the man you were meant to be. Stay strong, stay focused, and never stop growing. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep pushing forward and living with purpose.